We're going. Alright, I'm gonna just turn down the volume. Just that. And do this. So this is my second time recording this, as my last one, simply put, just didn't work. All my shit, just, file was too big for metal, as I use that for everything. And, yeah. So, I'm doing a re-recording, which is fine. I told myself I was going to keep this. I was going to keep this schedule going, because I need something to do. But
Attention, Pioneer. I am Ava, your personal instance
so,
of the artificial
some of the stuff I
directory
talked
and
about
assistant.
in my previous recording,
Welcome to the
like
Fixit
earlier,
Incorporated
when I was
Save the
trying
Date
to do
program.
this earlier today.
A Fixit Pioneer has 3 core assignments. Construct. All pioneers must follow Fixit guidelines and
Talking about
instructions
who I
when
am,
constructing any building.
who
Automate.
I
Every
was,
pioneer is responsible for setting up
and
and
how
managing
I feel
efficient
like I've
pipelines,
progressed.
outposts, and power infrastructure.
So, I'll try and do this somewhat.
Explore and exploit. Fixit selected planets are rich
I
with
am Wyatt.
resources suitable for direct use
I'm gonna
or
say my
further
last name for
investigation.
privacy reasons,
Stay
but
within your
Wyatt
discipline.
is my name, obviously.
And that is why the world is
Um,
counting on pioneers like you. Fixit.
I am
Short-term solutions
just
to
about the
long-term
age of voting,
problems.
but not exactly yet. I
Initiating planetfall.
I've always struggled
Atmospheric
with
entry in 3,
personal,
2,
with
1.
my own
Beginning arrow
self
assist.
and my own personal
Threat within
image,
acceptable parameters.
as I've never really known who I am. My freshman year was my biggest change in me, as it was when
Deploying parachute.
I first realized I was gay,
Deploying backup
and then
parachute.
I was
Skipping
still actively
parachute.
finding out who I
Landing
was,
phase begun.
starting
Activating
from
retropropulsion.
just figuring out that I one of the parts of younger me that I am happy I have no longer turned into, and no longer will be, due to just
Touchdown.
personal belief and
Drop pod
wanting to be better
integrity nominal.
in this world,
Omni-situational
because I'm
exploration
not
suit nominal.
a complete hater
Pioneer.
of everything.
Acceptable.
When I was younger, I was your very stereotypical cringy middle schooler. I was anti-furry for some reason, anti-religion. I don't know.
Congratulations. You are the third in your region
That
to
is
survive
something I'm happy I
planetfall.
haven't fully
Welcome to
regressed into,
Massage 2,
as
B, in the
it's
binary
something
system
I
of
find very
Archaea.
corny and cringy modern day.
Loading
And
objective-based introduction.
the fact that I
Begin
haven't turned into
onboarding.
that person makes me feel better. I still have
Contact
places I need to
safety
change,
tools supplied due to presence of alien
but the fact that
megafauna.
I'm turning
Adhere
into
to Fixit
that
procedure and equip the Fixit
means
Inc.
I'm
Xeno
still better
Zapper
than younger
before
me,
leaving the drop zone.
even in the slightest bit. But
Next objective: dismantle the drop pod. Fixit
I
Incorporated as cost-effective and
I don't
efficient.
know.
We do not waste. The drop
It's
pod will
a
be
part of my
recycled
life
to
I wish I
construct
could
the first
forget,
stage of the habitat
but
and utility
unfortunately
base,
I never
often
will,
referred to as the hub.
simply due to just the fact that it's something that's been unfortunately engraved into who I was, because it was a major part of who I was, even if it was maybe one of the worst things about me. I don't really know what to talk about now,
Next
because
objective:
I already did
use
this,
the
but
build
that
gun to
shit's
construct
gone.
the hub. Iron is a base component necessary for all near future
Um,
progress, so ensure you build the hub close to iron sources.
Yeah,
Fixit does
I
not
am
pay by the
I'm better than
kilometer.
who I used to be, simply due to the fact that I've actually learned to just everybody enjoys their love. Everybody, I've come to respect everybody, even if I don't see eye to eye with everybody.
Samples of
I
new
don't
alien
wish anybody
species
death,
acquired.
like I'm pretty sure I
Notable
used to.
features are blunt teeth, suggesting it is herbivorous, and a thickly plated skull and spine, suggesting it is
I'm
proficient
still,
at
I
inflicting
still
and
have
receiving
a way
blunt
to go
force trauma.
before I've
Preserve the
truly
remains
changed.
for later study.
But I'm still better.
Interrupting previous message for higher priority
I
message.
tried recording this way early in the morning. I think 4 in the morning.
Hub
To know if it
foundation
helps,
built. The hub terminal and crafting
I wish
rooms are only the humble
I could go
beginnings
back
of a
to that
successful
recording.
Fix-It
Because
pioneer,
simply put,
but
I
essential
don't know
for
what
the
to talk
next
about.
steps of onboarding.
I've,
Once finished, the hub will
I have,
function as your base of operations.
in
Next
the time,
objective, complete
I
hub
have
upgrade
felt
1.
like I have changed a slight bit. Not lots, not very little, but I have changed some. I mustered up the courage to talk to one of the 2 people I'm dating in my polyamorous relationship. Because up until yesterday, which was when I
Hub
had talked to him,
upgrade 1,
I just
storage
felt
and
like shit.
frame completed.
I felt like I didn't
Equipment
deserve
of
to
the
talk to
portable
them
miner can now
just
be
because
made in the
I didn't
workshop.
talk to them ever before.
Congratulations on
I barely
completing
knew
your
anything
first
about what they were
milestone.
doing.
The first
All I
of
knew
many
is that they
providing
were
access to new
factually
recipes
got
and
the
technologies for the
courage
Fix-It mission.
to come out to me
Next
and
objective,
Zane, who
complete hub
is
upgrade
my
2.
the other person in my poly relationship. I didn't even acknowledge it, which is why I felt like shit. Because I've been a terrible boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. As I don't even know who I am yet. I'm still trying to figure that out. I sent them a message telling them I was sorry. Just kind of emotionally dumping on them, which makes me feel like a selfish bastard, as I didn't even ask them how they've been or what they were doing. Sorry, I have to. I just want to pull it up for my own reference. I barely talked to them. The last time I talked to them from yesterday was almost a month ago, which is upsetting and kind of just upsetting as somebody who is in a relationship. Not many people don't talk to their significant others, their loved ones, for multiple days in a row. It's very concerning. It was, and I don't know why I lived with it. I don't know why I just accepted it as something that's fine. I shouldn't have. I wish I didn't. But the fact that they are willing to help me
Hub
through this
upgrade 2, power and shell
shows that they're
completed.
better.
The
They're better than a
smelter
lot
can
of
turn
people.
raw ore such as copper
And
and iron into ingots,
I am
and the
more
biomass
than
burner
blessed
generates power
that they
when
are
fueled.
the first one
Fun
of the few
fact,
people
most
who
of
I've
the native flora
I've
and
been
fauna
dating
is compatible
ever.
with Fix-It technology. Fueling the biomass burner with inappropriate
It's-
materials will result in deductions or even
It
cancellation
is something
of your yearly bonus.
of major
Next
surprise.
objective, complete hub upgrade
I'm not
3.
saying that if I were in the same situation, I wouldn't help. As I have multiple friends who have been dealing with a lot of emotional problems, just due to things and they're out of their control. And I have a personal belief that if my friends leave me or do something that will majorly harm themselves or others, and I didn't at least try to help them, I feel like I failed as a friend. Having somebody to talk to when you're going through a major emotional state is something that cannot be understated. It is one of the best things to do for somebody, is to just try and be there for them in their worst. I would know. I have a friend. I won't tell anything about them due to just obvious things, who I believe has tried to take their life multiple times around the same age I was when I was a freshman, which is very rough, but it's something that I am able to help them through, as I kind of went through the same things last year. Not the same age, but yeah. I felt like I had an obligation to help them. Because as I said, if I were to have a friend leave this world or do things that they would regret almost immediately, and I didn't try helping, I would feel like the worst friend ever. Unfortunately, though, they haven't done anything, and I'm happy for them. They seem to have progressed, but I'm not going to talk about them, as this is about me. But to say that they aren't important is wrong. They have gotten me to open up my own eyes and realize that I also matter. My own mental health matters. Some people may think my mental health doesn't matter. I can just tough it through. When in reality, most people can't. I have heard way too many stories of people who, despite having many friends, were just abandoned, never talked to, kind of turned into a scapegoat. And I've tried to make sure most of, if not all my friends know that if they need somebody to talk to, I'm always here. It may not be the best. It may not be the easiest for me. I feel like some things have happened in my own life that should probably make me try and step back. But I am a person who believes helping others is the best way to help yourself, too. But anyways, as I've said, I've always struggled with self-acceptance and self-identity. As of recently, I've started questioning if I'm trans, just due to the fact that I've never fit in with the stereotype of men. Maybe even women at this point. I don't know. But something that I believe I've been beyond thankful for in my life is that I had people in my family outside of me who are not straight. I have a aunt who is lesbian, and at a young age, I never even thought of it as something bad. I always just saw them as a couple. My brain tried so hard to force he, because I don't know, but only years after, almost 2 years after they broke up with who they were dating, did I actually realize it wasn't a straight couple. I believe that hatred is taught. Hatred is taught. No, not many people become hatred or have hatred out of just who they are. Some people, yes, but most are from something that's happened in their life or something that they were taught at a young age. And the fact that I am a living example of it makes me believe that homophobia is something that just doesn't make sense. It never has and never will for me. Many people just hate to hate, simply put. It does not make sense to me.
Hub upgrade 3, interior furnishing completed. The constructor
But anyways,
can produce simple parts, and
I have,
power tools allow for the expansion of the power
as
grid.
of recently, been taking a major step back into who I am. As when I really had my breaking point here, with me realizing that I wasn't really progressing like I thought I was as a person. I cried last night to sleep. I haven't in a while. But it was just something that I think I needed. Honestly, if there's anything else that I've truly needed in my life, this is gonna sound very stupid, but in GTA 6, or 5, sorry, in the story mode, I won't explain all of GTA 5, but it is kind of important for what I think I need in my life. Many people know the story mode of GTA 5, but I'm going to do this for the few people who don't. There's 3 main characters who you can play as, one of which being Michael DeSanta. He is a millionaire, I think, and he came from a life of crime. That being, he did heists and shit. I don't know, but I don't know the story that well. But the point is, his family loved him because of all the way he was living his life. And later in the story, his son comes back into his house and essentially just goes off on him. And a quote from him that I believe is something that everybody needs to hear, at least something they need to experience. Despite all the shit that was said, I might pull up like a quote or something. Michael had said, "That is the best thing I have heard anybody say to me in my life." I think something along those lines. It's sometimes hearing what you don't want to hear, going off on you, just overall mad because of something. It's something that I feel like I've needed to hear, but I have never heard. Because I've always lived my life as I've done nothing wrong. Nobody has corrected me anywhere, so clearly I'm doing something right. Even though now at this point it's almost fucked me over in my life. Last year, where I lived, had put a very strict phone law, or what my school district believed would be a very strict phone law into place. And I almost got expelled due to it. I've always struggled with using electronics when I'm not supposed to, falling back to them, making them almost the entirety of what I depend on, just due to the fact that they've been around my entire life with me. It's not great. But I almost got fired due to it, and just the way I lived this summer. There was multiple days, almost in a row, that I slept in way past when I was supposed to go into work. And I should have been fired for all the write-ups that I've gotten. The fact that I haven't is a blessing beyond blessings. I believe that if it was up to the people at the very top, I would be gone. I would have been gone way long ago. I believe, honestly, at this point, my managers stuck out their necks for me. Because in any other situation, I would be fired. I wouldn't have a job right now. I have been maybe one of the most negligent employees on who works there. Again, I'm not going to say where I work, even though I'm sure nobody cares. But I work fast food, which has put a major amount of stress on me, as has been one of the most stressful things I've dealt with in my time here on this planet. But I believe it's also set me straight. I believe some of the reason why I've fallen back into bad habits is due to it, but I'm not going to blame it. But I'm very thankful for this job, as it put me through things I thought I'd never go through. Stress, major amounts of stress, and just all this shit. But it has helped me realize that I need to be a better person. I at school, this sounds so stupid because I don't know how I let it get to this personally. I had 8 write-ups for my phone, when at most the written only went up to 4. I let it get so bad, and I never tried to change. But I've changed a lot, I would say. And my dependency on tech, not only almost has gotten me fired and expelled, but it's to the point here where I barely can do anything. It's embarrassing, really. And I know it is. But the fact that it's just... Anyways. Something else that I'm I don't like, especially here in my town where I live, is there's not much for people my age to do. A lot of the things that are around my town are just parks and churches. We are a very old blood town. That being, a lot of the people here are above the median age. And there's, in result, nothing for people my age to do. If there was more for me to do, I'm not going to say it's the only reason, but if there's more for me to be able to do in my town, I believe I would be a better person. But if there is something about me that I can talk about how I've changed, is younger me. The reason why I don't like younger me in almost any way is that I was a snob. I don't know why I was like who I was. There should have been no reason. I was raised better. But I was, for example, oh, furries are bad. But now I believe I'd like to say I'm a furry. Just, they're cool. A lot of them are just really sick. But they kind of changed who I was. In the fact of, they made me open my eyes and realize a lot of people who aren't in the norm are really cool. Therians, I guess, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm portraying people as bad, but I don't know how to portray people. But it made me open my eyes to realize the people I didn't like, are actually some of the best people in this world. Like, furries are constantly doing major fundraisers and just helping the people in the community around them. And the fact that I made so much fun of them is just embarrassing, really. But I don't know. I don't know how to come to terms with who I am. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to change and who I want to change into. I don't know if I want to be man, woman, nothing, neither, both. I don't know who I want to be.
Hub upgrade 4,
I'm still figuring out who I want to be.
and utilities
As a person,
conveyor belts connect the
as a
output
son,
of one
daughter,
building to the input of another and
as
transport resources.
a romantic partner.
Due to past incidents, I have been asked to issue a clarification. Portable miners, obviously, do not have a connection for conveyor belts. There is nothing to suggest,
I do believe
visually or
I have partially
functionally,
changed.
that they can be connected to portable miners. If this is something you struggle with, do not worry. Fixit has alternative uses for all their pioneers. Next objective, complete hub upgrade 5.
I don't know. I don't really know what to talk about. As like I said, I already tried this. I already tried going through a video of me doing this. But the video was just too big. I'm gonna try and make it around half hour. Just to be easier on me. Yeah. I personally believe that everybody who dresses up out of the norm of everybody else is cool. Emo, goth, scene, alternative, whatever, everything, I find cool. I wish I had the self-confidence to dress how I felt. But unfortunately, around my town, especially with the fact that as I said in my previous recording attempt to, at least, when I was just walking with Zane, my boyfriend, somebody rolled down their window and called us at the N-word hard R. And would you believe me if I said they were white? They probably were more pale than me, and I'm a very pale person. And simply put, my town isn't safe for me. Just due to the fact that I'm not straight. It's not like I am in grave danger. But I don't believe I can go around on most days and convey who I want to be. Since I'm also still in high school, a lot of people my age are ruthless. I'll say it. Will tear you open for anything out of the norm. Now, somebody else 2 years ago did have the confidence. I had 2 trans friends in my school, and from what I heard, it never went bad for them. But I don't think I could do it, but I don't know. I don't know who I am yet. I wish I knew. I wish I knew who I wanted to be. I have an idea, but I don't know how easy I'll be able to do that. I don't know. I have a lot of thinking to do on who I want to be. But I believe I will change for the better. It will just take time for me. I don't know. I believe part of my problem is gaming. I don't want to blame it all on this. This has been my livelihood. And I simply cannot just drop game, as it's how I get along with most of my friends. But I believe that this has changed me for the worst, as this is where I believe the root of me being a very angry child came. I grew around playing COD and just all these games, so much hatred of everybody around me. But I see who I need to be, and I see how I need to better turn this thing that I've almost turned into a bad habit as something I can use for the better for me. Doing this is already a point of start, as I said, I'm pretty sure last time. All I do right now is play very toxic games. Dead by Daylight, Valorant, Brawlhalla, Fortnite. All I do is play games that are just kind of built on toxicity. It's not a very good place to start. It's not a good place. But I have changed. As in my previous recording, I played Raft. In my first upload, I played Fallout 4 again. I'm going back through Satisfactory to try and actually complete it. But it will take time for me. As, I don't know. I know everything's going to take time. I'm prepared to be working on myself for years to come. Probably well into being an adult. Also, for anybody who may be watching, as things happen during the week that are like majorly notable, I will probably make community notes or community posts and just general life updates unless I see it fit for something in a video. For example, let's say like if I got fired from my job, I wouldn't do that, as that is something major to talk about. But if like somebody I interacted with is notable to me, I'll talk about it, as I want to try and not really document my entire life, but kind of see if I've grown over a long period of time. And what better way to do that than with something like that? Anywho's, I am just for timing, and as I don't know how long it's going to be, I'm going to end this here. Do some light editing if I see fit, which I probably won't. Again, thank you to anybody here that has maybe watched to this point, as this as even though this is just for me, I always appreciate if anybody else sees my struggle, sees if there's anything for me to do, anything that they've gone through real recently or themselves, and has anything of advice. I'm always looking for advice. I don't know how to look for it though. Anyways, thank you for anybody who watched. I will. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna do this at the end of every video, just to track something. Weekly or bi-weekly, I'm not sure. I'm going to weigh myself and just see if I've made or lost weight. Because I need to just track if, even with me eating very frugally, I'm making weight. Because if I do, I need to actually figure something out. But either way, on that note, 190 pounds. 190 pounds is my current weight. As of August 21st of 2026. Anyways, thank you again. If you've made it this far, if you're sleeping, have a good day, have a good night, or sweet dreams.